Hello and welcome again. Continuing the SDG series, I'm your host Harshit Sinha, returning with a thoughtful, provoking theme that is building a sustainable future concept and approaches. This topic presents a redefined exploration of sustainability, acknowledging the profound interlinkage and across the social, economic, and environmental sphere. It underscored the imperative to evaluate the innovative strategy that can steer humanity towards a resilient and equitable future, while recognizing the pivotal contribution of every individual in this global endeavor. The presentation navigates through advanced research, real world application, and transformative policy framework that are redefining contemporary sustainable practice. It seeks to other meaningful insight into one of the most urgent challenges confronting the society today, making it relevant for student research and the professionals alike. By illuminating the diverse perspective and forward-looking methodologies, the discussion aspired to deepen understanding and inspire proactive engagement. Ultimately, the initiative aims to cultivate a more informed and committed audience capable of contributing the thoughtful to the evolving global sustainable paradigm. The concept of sustainability is a fundamental build-up upon three interconnected pillars. These pillars must be carefully balanced to achieve the genuine progress toward the sustainable future. The first is the environmental protection, forms the base of the emphasizing the crucial conservation of the natural resources and biodiversity. It involves safeguarding ecosystem, minimizing pollution, and ensuring the long-term health of planet. Without a healthy environment, sustained human well-being and economic activity are impossible. Above this lies the economic development, which focuses on fostering sustainable growth and equitable prosperity. This pillar encourages the practice that support the economic viability without depleting the natural resources or harming social cohesion. It advocates for a system that creates opportunity for all, promoting the responsible consumption and production. Finally, at the apex is the social equity, which champion justice, inclusion, and well-being for all members of society. This pillar addresses issues of human rights, poverty reduction, and access to the essential services and fair distribution of resources. A truly sustainable future cannot be achieved by significant portion of the population are marginalized or deprived. The Brundtland Commission famously defined sustainable development as a development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of the future generation to meet their own needs. This definition present in their 1987 report, Our Common Future, underscores the crucial importance of intergeneration equity and integrating the long-term thinking into all decision-making process. It highlights that our current action have profound implication for future generation, making the balance of these three pillars essential to enduring progress. The concept of sustainability has undergone a significant evolution marked by distinct area that reflects humanity changing relationship with the environment. The pre-industrial era saw traditional ecological knowledge and sustainable resources management practice deeply embedded with many indigenous culture. The society often demonstrate a profound understanding of environmental limit, living in a way that maintain ecological balance. The advent of the Industrial Revolution brought about a drastic shift. Rapid industrialization led to unprecedented levels of resource extractions and pollution. This era, characterized by the unchecked growth, eventually prompted the emergence of early conservation movement as a direct response to widespread environmental degradation. This concern cumulated in the modern environmental movement. A pivotal movement was the publication of the Rachel Carson Silent Spring in 1962, which powerfully catalyzed public awareness about the dangerous pesticides and environmental pollution. This surge in awareness led to significant milestones like the first Earth Day in 1970 and the subsequent formation of the Environmental Protection Agency globally, marking a more formalized approach to environmental stewardship. Finally, the current Sustainable Development Array emerged aiming to integrate environmental protection with the social equity and economic development. Key milestones include the Brundtland Report in 1987, which popularized the concept of sustainable development, the Rio Earth Summit in 1992, and the establishment of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals in 2015. These developments firmly established sustainability as a global priority and provide a comprehensive framework for a collective action towards a more balanced future. The ecological footprint is a vital metric that quantifies humanity demands on nature, comparing it directly against what the earth can regenerate. It essentially measures the amount of biological productivity, land, and sea area required to provide the resource a population consumes and absorbs its waste. The slide highlights some critical global statistics. Currently, about 1.7 Earth are required to sustain a global consumption pattern, indicating a significant overshoot of the planet's biocapacity. This means humanity is consuming natural resources at the rate of 1.7 times faster than the ecosystem can generate them, leading to an ecological deficit. The average per capita ecological footprint worldwide stands at 4.7 hectares. This figure represents the amount of productivity and the land, water each person on earth requires to support their lifestyle. Alarming, the average North American ecological footprint is much higher at 8.4 global hectares, illustrating a disproportionately large environmental impact compared to global average. A significant portion of the impact, specifically 60%, is attributed to the carbon footprint, representing the emission from carbon consumption. This emphasizes the dominant role of the greenhouse gas emission in our overall ecological burden. The concept of ecological footprint was developed by Mathis Weckrangel and William Reed in the 1990s. It provides a straightforward and tangible matrix for understanding sustainability, encompassing the land and water needed for essential human activities such as the food production, fiber, timber, energy, infrastructure, and absorption of the waste, particularly carbon dioxide. It served as a powerful tool to raise awareness about the overconsumption and the urgent need for more sustainable resource management. The next slide is related with the circular economy, rethinking production and consumption. The circular economy represents the fundamental paradigm shift away from the traditional take, make, waste linear model of production and consumption. Instead, it proposed a system designed to eliminate waste and pollution by designing key product and material in use and regenerate natural systems. This approach offers a powerful pathway to decouple economic growth from finite resource consumption. The circular economic framework, championed by organizations like Ellen MacArthur Foundation, can be understood through several key principles. The first is related with the design for circularity. This crucial first steps involves designing product for durability, repairability, and recyclability right from the outset. The aim is to ensure that the product and their component can be easily deassembled and their material reused at the end of their initial life. Second is related with the resource recovery. This principle focuses on the recapturing material and component once a product research the end of its use phase and introduce them into the production cycle. This minimizes the need of virgin resource and reduces the waste going to landfill. The third is related with the extended use. This involves a strategy to maximize the useful life of product. This can be achieved through maintenance, repair, and resharing models which keep products in circulation for long as well as possible before they are recycled or regenerated. And the fourth one is related with the regeneration. At the core of the circular economy is the idea of regenerating the natural system. This means returning biological materials safely to the biosphere, for instance, through compositing and ensuring that the industrial processes are designed to enhance rather than degrade the natural capital. By implementing these principles, the circular economy aims to create a continuous loop of resources using fostering a more resilient and sustainable economic system that benefits both people and the planet. Next slide is related with the Sustainable Development Goal, a global framework. The Sustainable Development Goal represents comprehensive and universal global framework established by the United Nations to achieve a more sustainable future for all. Building upon the success of the Millennium Development Goal, the 17 SDGs addresses the most pressing global challenges facing humanity and the planet. The framework organized these goals into three interconnected categories, mirroring the pillars of the sustainability, social development, economic development, and environmental protection. Let us take one by one. The first is the social development, encompassed by the goal 1 to 6 focuses on the fundamental human needs. These include eradicating poverty, that is goal 1, and hunger, that is goal 2, ensuring good quality of health and well-being, that is goal 3, providing quality education, that's goal 4, achieving gender equality, that is goal 5, and ensuring access to the clean and sanitation is a goal 6. These goals underscore that the human dignity and well-being are foundational for any sustainable society. The next is related with the economic development covered by the goals 7 to 12, centers on fostering inclusive and sustainable economic growth. This category addresses affordable and clean energy, that is goal 7, decent work and economic growth, that is goal 8, industry, innovation and infrastructure, that is goal 9, reduce inequality, that is goal 10, sustainable cities and the communities, that is goal 11, and the responsible consumption and production is goal 12. These goals provide a framework for transforming economic system to be more inclusive and environmentally sound. Finally, the environmental protection addressed by the goal 13 to 15 emphasizes the critical need to protect our natural environment. This includes taking urgent action to combat climate change, that is goal 13, conserving life below water, that is goal 14, and protecting life on the land, that is goal 15. These goals acknowledge our inherent dependence on the healthy ecosystem and the urgent need to preserve the natural capital for present and future generations. The SDG framework serves as a universal call to all action, recognizing that addressing these complex challenges requires integrated solution and the global partnership. Next slide is related with the climate change defining the crisis. The climate change stands the most critical challenge of our era, fundamentally altering the global system with far-reaching consequences. The current status reveals that a concerning reality, global temperature have already risen by 1.1 degrees centigrade since pre-industrial times, contributing to an increasing frequency to extreme weather events such as intense heat waves, drought, floods, and storms. Simultaneously, we witnessing escalating biodiversity loss and widespread ecosystem disruption, threatening the delicate balance of the natural habitats and services they provide. Addressing this crisis requires a multi-pronged approach focusing on both mitigation and adaptation. Mitigation targets are crucial for limiting further warming. Key among these is the goal to limit the global warming to 1.5 centigrade above the pre-industrial level as enshrined in the international agreement. To achieve this, a critical target is to attain net zero carbon emission by 250, enhancing the carbon sink through natural-based solutions such as the reforestation and ecosystem restoration also play a vital role in removing atmospheric carbon. Alongside mitigation, adaptation strategies are essential to cope. Alongside mitigation, adaptation strategies are essential to cope with the unavoidable impact of a changing climate. These include the developing climate resilient infrastructure and urban planning to withstand extreme weather, implementing and sustainable water management system to address the scarcity and the flooding, and adopting the climate smart agriculture and food security measures to ensure stable food supplies in volatile climate. Effective global cooperation is a paramount for success. This involves the full implementation and enhancement of the agreement like the Paris Agreement, which provides a framework for natural climate action. Furthermore, robust climate finance for developing nations is necessary to support their transition to low carbon economies and build resilience. Technology transfer and capacity building between the developed and developing countries are crucial to ensure a collective, equitable, and effective response to this defining crisis. Next slide is related to renewable energy transition. The renewable energy transition signifies a monumental shift in how the world generates and consumes power, moving away from the fossil fuels toward the clean, sustainable sources. In the past decade, this revolution has gained tremendous momentum, primarily driven by the rapid advancement and cost reduction in the solar photovoltaic and the wind power technologies. These dramatic cost reductions have made renewable and increasingly competitive, often emerging as the most affordable option for a new electricity generation in a numerous market globally. Beyond solar and the wind, significant technological innovation are further accelerating this transition. Improvement in energy storage solutions such as advanced battery are addressing the intermittency challenges of renewable sources. The development of the smart grid enhances the efficiency and the reliability of the electric distribution, while the broader electrification of the various sectors, including the transportation and industry, is expanding the applications and demand for a clean energy. This innovation facilitates a higher penetration of renewable sources into the energy mix. This transition is not merely an economic or technological shift, it's essential for achieving the critical global climate goals by reducing the greenhouse gas emission. Widespread adoption of renewable directly combat climate change. Furthermore, the transition aims to provide universal access to clean, affordable energy, addressing the energy poverty and the contributing to the broader social and economic development worldwide. The data presented in this graph visually underscore this rapid progress, showcasing the significant growth rate and the cost reduction across the various renewable technologies, including the solar, photovoltaic, wind, geothermal, hydropower, and biomass. Next slide is related with the sustainable urban development. Sustainable urban development is a critical approach to design managing the city in the way that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of the future generation to meet their own need. It integrates the environmental, social, and economic consideration to create vibrant, resilient, and livable urban environment. The slide highlights several key strategies for achieving this. The first is related to the compact urban form, advocates for mixed use development, transit oriented design, and higher densities. This approach significantly reduces the transportation energy used by up to the 70% compared to the sprawling development. It also improves the walkability, enhance public space, and preserve surrounding natural areas by limiting urban sprawl. The next is related with the green infrastructure. Green infrastructure involves the incorporating the natural system into urban planning. Urban forests, park, green roof, and the bio-waste offer multiple benefits, including improved air quality, reducing urban heat, island effect, and effective storm water management. Furthermore, the green infrastructure support biodiversity and enhance the physical and mental well-being of the residents, creating a healthier and more pleasant living environment. The next is related with the efficient building. Efficient building are the central to reducing the environmental footprint of cities. High performance building utilizes passive design principle, efficient energy system like renewable energy integration, and the sustainable material. These buildings can achieve the net zero or even net positive energy performance, meaning they produce as much as more energy than they consume, while simultaneously creating a healthier and more comfortable indoor environment for occupants. And lastly, the smart city technology. The smart city technology leverage digital innovation to optimize urban functioning. Technologies like IoT, sensor, data analyst, and intelligent management system can improve resource use efficiency, enhance the public service delivery, foster citizens engagement, and significantly increase urban resilience to the various stress and shock from the climate impact to economic downturn. Together, these approaches contribute to building cities that are not even environmentally responsible but also socially equitable and economical viable. Next slide is related with the sustainable agriculture and the food system. The sustainable agriculture and the food system are vital for ensuring long-term food security, protecting the environment, promoting social equity. This comprehensive approach moved beyond the conventional farming to integrate ecological principle and innovative technology across the entire food chain. The first is agroecology. The agroecology offers a foundational approach by working with the rather than against natural processes. It applies ecological concept to agriculture system to enhance the biodiversity, improve soil health, and significant reduce the dependency on the external inputs like synthetic fertilizer and pesticide while maintaining the productivity. The key practice includes the crop diversification and the rotation biological pest management and the integration of the livestock and the crops, all contributing to more resilient and self-regulation farm ecosystem. The next is related with the precision agriculture. It leverages smart farming technology to enable more efficient resource use. Through detailed monitoring and analysis, it facilitates the target application of water, fertilizer, and pesticide. This includes the use of GPS guided equipment for precise planting and harvesting, remote sensing with drones and satellite for real time crop health monitoring, and variable rate technology that adjust input application based on the specific field needs. This approach significantly reduces environmental impact such as the nutrient runoff and pesticide drift while simultaneously improving the yield and resources efficiently. And finally, a holistic food system transformation is necessary to address the sustainability beyond just agriculture production. This involves looking at the entire food system from farm to fork and beyond to reduce the food loss and waste, which currently accounts for approximately one third of all food produced globally. Transforming the food system also means shifting the dietary pattern towards more plant-based options, which generally have lower and investing in the consumer education and engagement to promote sustainable food choices. By integrating these strategies, sustainable agriculture and the food system aims to build a future where the food production is environmentally sound, economically viable, and socially justified. Environmental footprints. Strategies include developing the shortened supply chain, improving storage and processing techniques to minimize the spoilage. Corporate sustainability has evolved significantly from being a peripheral concern to strategic imperative for business worldwide. It encompasses how companies manage their environmental, social, and economic impact to ensure long-term value creation. This evolution, increasingly framed by the environmental, social, and governance framework, which provide structured approach for measuring, managing, and communicating an organization's sustainability performance to the stakeholders, particularly investors. The journey of corporate sustainability typically progresses through several stages. The first one is related with the compliance. Compliance at its most basic level, corporate sustainability begins with the meeting minimum legal and regulatory requirement. This ensures business operate within the established environmental law, labor law standards, and the governance rule. The next is related with the efficiency. That is, it's moving beyond more compliance. Companies focus on increasing efficiency by reducing the waste and optimizing resources use. This not only minimizes the environmental impact but also often leads to significant cost saving and the operational improvement. Next is related with the innovations. The innovation is more advanced stage involves developing sustainable product and business models. This includes creating an eco-friendly product, adopting circular economics principle, and pioneering new technologies that contribute to sustainability while opening a new market opportunity. The next is related with the transformation. The transformation is the highest level of corporate sustainability involves a fundamental redefinition of the business success. Companies at this stage aims to create a shared value, integrating sustainability principle into their core business strategy to drive systematic change and contribute positively to society and the environment, recognizing that long-term business success is inextricably linked to environmental and social well-being. Leading companies increasingly recognizing that long-term business success depends on the environmental and social well-being, moving beyond incremental improvement to pursue transformative approaches that align their core business with sustainability principle. This strategic shift is driven not only by ethical consideration but also by growing the investors' demand, regulatory pressure, and consumer preference for responsible business practice. This slide is concerned with the sustainable finance and investment and what are the methods. Sustainable finance and investment represents a transformative shift in the financial sector, actively redirecting the capital flow toward the investment that support environmental social objectives. This growing segment of the financial market recognizing that long-term economic stability is intrinsically linked to ecological health and societal well-being. Key instruments within the sustainable finance are rapidly gaining performance. Green bond or debt security issued to raise the capital specifically for the project with the environmental benefits such as renewable energy or the sustainable waste management. Sustainability linked loans offer incentives often in the form of reduced interest rate to companies that achieve the predefined sustainability performance target. Impact investing goes a step further, aiming to generate not only financial return but also measure the positive social and environmental impact. Financial institutions are increasingly integrating the climate and the other sustainability risks into their assessment framework. This means evaluating the investment not just on a traditional financial metrics but also on their exposure to the climate change impact, resource scarcity, social controversies, and the governance issue. This comprehensive risk assessment helps investors make more informed decisions and build more resilient portfolios. Furthermore, central bank and the financial regulators worldwide are acknowledging that the environmental risks, particularly climate change, pose material threat to financial stability. In response, they are developing a new approaches to stress testing financial institute against the climate scenario, implementing enhanced disclosure requirement for the climate-related financial risk, and introducing the potential regulation to address these emerging risks. This regulatory shift are crucial for supporting the broader transition to sustainable economic, ensuring that the financial system play a proactive role in addressing the global environmental and social changes. Well, this slide gives weightage to individual action and the lifestyle choice. The individual action and the lifestyle choice play a pivotal role in building a sustainable future and complementing the broader systematic change. While policy and the corporate shift are crucial, personal decision, collective amplify impact and drive demand for the sustainable solution. The first is sustainable transportation. Sustainable transportation is a key area for individual action. Opting for walking, cycling, public transit, or electric vehicle can dramatically reduce one's carbon footprint. Transportation accounts for approximately 14% of the global greenhouse gas emission, with the personal vehicle being a major contributor, especially in the developed countries. Shifting away from the fossil fuels dependent transportation is essential for mitigating the climate change and improve the urban air quality. Adopting a sustainable diet also offers significant environmental benefits. Plant-forward diets with reduced animal product, particularly red meat, can lower an individual environmental impact by up to 73% compared to the conventional Western diet. Choosing local, seasonal, and organically produced foods whenever possible further reduces the transportation emission, supports local economies, and minimize the exposure to harmful chemicals. Then comes energy conservation. Energy conservation at home directly contributes to sustainability improvement, improving home energy efficiency through better insulation using energy efficient appliances and practicing mindful consumption habits can significantly reduce both environmental and impact utility bills. Moreover, the increasing accessibility and renewable energy options like rooftop solar empower the individual to generate their own clean energy, further decreasing the reliance on the fossil fuels. Finally, the community engagement is vital for amplifying the individual efforts into a systematic change. Participating in the local sustainability initiatives, Advocating for a policy change and supporting the ethical business can collectively escalate the transition to a sustainable society. Collective action demonstrates a widespread demand for sustainability, encouraging the governments and the corporation to adopt more ambitious goals and practices. Every individual choice, no matter how small, contributors to a larger movement towards a more sustainable and equitable world. The last slide of this presentation is more concerned with the path forward, integrating and implementations. Addressing the complex and interconnected challenges of sustainability requires a strategic path forward centered and on integration and effective implementation. This involves three critical components that are: first, system thinking. Systems thinking is a fundamental to understanding the sustainability challenges. These issues are inherently complex and interconnected, meaning that effective solution demands a holistic perspective by recognizing the intricate relation between the environmental, social, and economic system. We can identify the potential unintended consequences of our action, pinpoint leverages points for meaningful transformative changes. This approach moves beyond isolated solution to consider the broader context and ripple effect. The another one is related with the multi-stakeholders collaboration, which is equally vital as no single entity can address sustainability challenges alone. Governments, businesses, civil society organizations, and academic institutions and individuals must work together, leveraging their respective strengths and resource. Innovative partnership and robust governance arrangements are essential for fostering the collective action. This collaborative spirit ensures that diverse perspectives are considered and solutions are comprehensively and widely supported. Finally, adaptive management is a crucial given in the inherent complexity and uncertainty involved in the sustainability transition. This embraces iterative approaches that allows for continuous learning and adjustment over time. Robust monitoring system, transparent reporting, and regular assessment of the strategic enable continuous improvement and build resilience in the face of the changing condition. This dynamic approach ensures that the sustainability efforts remain relevant at all levels of society. By embracing system thinking, fostering multi-stakeholders collaborations, and practicing adaptive management, we can unlock tremendous opportunities for innovation, collaborations, and positive impact, ultimately building a more resilient and equitable world. Well, this session marks the culmination of our thematic exploration on the building sustainable future concept and approaches. Throughout, we emphasize that the sustainable initiative must be dynamic and adaptable, capable of evolving in response to emerging insight and shifting circumstances. Embracing systems thinking, fostering multi stakeholder collaborations, and implementing adaptive management are essential strategies to catalyze innovations, drive collection action, and promote resilience. Such transformative change across societal levels is imperative, forging a more equitable and sustainable world. Looking ahead, we will continue this intellectual journey with an engaging discourse titled Holistic Approach to Sustainable Development Goal Part 1, which will examine the fundamental concepts shaping the global sustainability transition. We encourage you to stay connected with our platform for upcoming sessions and to share this content with the colleagues dedicated to advancing sustainable development. Wishing you ongoing success, inspiration, and resilience in your pursuit of a sustainable and prosperous future. Till then, bye bye.